We are back in Augusta at one of the best seafood restaurants in Georgia that you will find. So you don't want to miss this episode where we will be trying amazing oysters, delicious prawns and grits, and other dishes that I've never seen before. So stick around as we jump into Abel and Brown, and here we go.
Hey, my name is Todd Schaefer. I am the owner and chef of Abel Brown in Augusta, Georgia. So Abel Brown, we opened in November of 2014, so actually it's been 10 years now. I'm classically French trained, so I wanted to do something that shows that technique and that style, but also getting back to more of a southern roots type of a restaurant. So we try to use really locally sourced ingredients with more of a southern flair. So for instance, I'll do some dishes that are French in nature, but I'll use southern products, like the sauce that we do for the pork chop. It's a classic French sauce that's made by reduction, but I add southern ingredients like andouille and pickled okra, baby tomatoes. We're an oyster bar. We focus on really fresh seafood, and I've been using the same great seafood provider for the last 25 years, and we really try to focus on super clean, super fresh.
Okay, guys, so now we are getting to a few great things that I've been hearing about. One of them is this crab cake appetizer. It's good to know that this crab cake appetizer is not necessarily on the menu because it's a seasonal item. So when you get here, you can ask for it. There you go. Now I can get in this corn. Now, this dish is very unique. I've just smashed it, but I'm gonna mix this up a bit. You have the crab with the corn. Let's go ahead and try this. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good crab cake. Goodness.
Yeah.
Now, when it first came out, it was this ball. After smashing it, it's kind of became a wider thing that can feed multiple people. So it's definitely a great dish. The corn and the sauce is throwing me off. I can't figure out what kind of sauce this is. So it's pretty wow. I love the flavor, but I can't figure it out. The crab cake itself, really good. It's creamy, fried, crunchy, creamy. Very good.
The way this works, first of all, these oysters are probably going to be the cleanest tasting oysters you've ever had. Especially, I would imagine where else would you go to have oysters this fresh? Like the fresh, you're going to immediately taste all that. So you're going to get 2 of each of our specialty oysters as listed here. The number on this side is the salinity level. So in other words, the saltiness of each oyster. The higher the number, the higher the salinity. So the way we do it is starting at 12 o'clock is the lemons. Then we're going to go in the direction of a clock. So your first 2 oysters are going to be the top of the list, the powder point. The next 2 are going to be the next in line, the aqua neck cups. And so forth and so on until we get to the last 2 oysters here. And those are going to be the Glidden points. So, like, of course, you'll try the first oyster, and this is the mignonette. It's like a champagne vinegar, and of course, a cocktail sauce. We have horseradish, Tabasco, and crackers on the table. So pretty much, so you can say, like, okay, well, these right here, they're from Duxbury Bay in Massachusetts. Plump, sweet, and salty with a clean finish. Salinity level of 7. And then you can try it. You can say, oh, wow, that does taste exactly like it said, and so forth, so on.
All right, so we've got a dozen of the oysters. There are 6 selections, so they gave us 2 of each. I'm just gonna go through this gauntlet and just try every single one of them. And I'm gonna do this rather quick because I love oysters and I'm just too excited to slow down. Okay, starting from the lemon over, that's what they said? Okay, so we've got oysters from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Virginia, Canada, Massachusetts again, and then Maine. Apparently Massachusetts is the place to get oysters. So I'm just gonna start with this. This is powder point oyster. I think the best way to do this, honestly, would be so a little bit of lemon, just a dash of Tabasco, and that's it. I'm not gonna put anything else in here. That looks great. Okay, so let's give this a shot. They describe this is Duxbury Bay oyster. They describe it as plump, sweet, and salty with a clean finish. Definitely clean finish, definitely clean. That was great. Going on to Rhode Island, we've got Aqueduct cups from the Saconet River in Rhode Island. This is gonna have some mineral notes. It's gonna be clean but sharp at the end. So let's give that a shot. I am going to, I think, try this with some peppercorn. Fresh pink peppercorn. Well, I guess maybe not fresh. Vinegared peppercorn. I'm gonna drop a little bit of that on there. We're gonna give this a shot. Whoa. Whoa. Yes, okay, cool. So that was definitely a good pairing. The pink peppercorn with that minerally kind of like taste of this oyster was perfect. The floralness kind of helps pick it up a little bit. So that was dynamite. That was a good oyster right there. Let's move on to the next one. We've got the Ragged Island oysters. They are from the James River in Virginia. So let's hit that with a little bit of lemon. It's this guy right here. These are a little larger, so that's nice. These are gonna have a sweet and salty with the clean finish, so that's gonna be similar to the first one, a little reminiscent of that, which I think is gonna be great with a little bit of horseradish. So I'm going to grab some horseradish, put it right on this oyster, and let's give this a try. That was one of the juiciest oysters I've ever had. Wow. Just the sheer size alone was a little intimidating, I'm not gonna lie, but that was, I didn't expect so much of that juice to come through. I should have put a little bit more lemon on that, and I think it would have been top tier, but just by itself, kind of getting that pure, kind of unadulterated oyster flesh flavor was perfect. I can definitely see what they mean by clean finish. I almost don't need a palate cleanser for that, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a little sip of this. Flight of oysters. We've gone through the gauntlet. These are fantastic. They are so fresh. It's like they literally pulled it out of the river from behind the kitchen or something and just shucked it right next to us. I know they've got people shucking these kind of like on the other side of the restaurant, so I know these are freshly prepared, as freshly sourced as they can possibly get. Yeah, this was fantastic. I love me some good oysters, and these are some good oysters. Okay, so they just set down this first dish here. We've got mussels that are cooked in some kind of a green sauce. I don't know if it's a curry. I think it's a buttercream or something. We'll have somebody explain this so that we know exactly what we're eating. I'm gonna give this a shot. Of course, I like to try the sauce first. The sauce looks good, so let's see what this tastes like. Oh. That's pretty good. You definitely get that butter like-ness. I wouldn't say spicy at all, but this is definitely creamy. It's buttery, it's nice, it's well-rounded. Let me try this oyster, this mussel. Yeah, let me try this mussel. And I know I'm probably breaking fine dining etiquette by using my hands, but this is what we're doing today. So, boom. Oh, try not to make a mess here. This looks dynamite. Okay, mussels are fantastic. I love fresh seafood, and they promised us fresh seafood, and they are absolutely delivering on that. This is quite delicious. It's quite flavorful. You immediately get that nice fresh seafood flavor, which means it's not fishy. It's just there. It's just fresh. It's just present. It's just ready to say hello. This is perfect. Honestly, it's a massive, massive plate, so this is definitely to share, but Honestly, if I'm like at home with this just sitting in front of me, I could see myself eating all of this by myself.
So I'm just jumping in here because I wanted to throw my hat in the race and see what I thought about these as well. So here we go. Now, it comes with toast. This curry is so good, they know you're gonna want to use the toast on the curry. So there you have it. Mussel. Oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh my lordy. My lordy. I'm not a mussel person. I normally don't even like mussels. This place just sold me on mussels for the rest of my life. Goodness gracious. Don't mind now, I'm sorry.
All right, so we've come to this monster of a dish. This is a pork chop. All right, so this is called the Kurobuta pork chop. Kurobuta. I don't know what the significance of that word is, so I'm gonna stop trying to pronounce it because I think I'm doing it wrong. Kurobuta. Kurobuta. All right, so this pork chop has got cheesy grits. That's awesome. I love these grits here, so I'm gonna really enjoy that. It's got jalapeno cornbread madeleines. That just sounds like music to my ears, and it's got, what is this? Shrimp and andouille gumbo. It's got shrimp and andouille gumbo just all around. So this just smells so good, and it looks massive. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut right into this and just try it. Kurobuta is considered basically as the Wagyu of pork. So this is found and sourced from Japan, and it looks divine. Okay, so this is beautiful. So let me give it a shot. Apparently I'm trying Wagyu pork. This is definitely probably the best pork chop I've ever had. So, you know, when you think of pork, you immediately, if you know anything about like Spain and Italy, you think of Iberico pork, Iberico ham. That's basically cured pork leg. And well, it's a type of pig, but the most common form is like in prosciutto, it's salt cured pork. And that's for me, top tier pork. I don't think I've ever had an Iberico pork chop, so it's difficult to put into like a comparison of what's better, but this is probably the best pork chop I've ever had.
Okay, so here we have the chocolate croissant and bread pudding. As you can see, it looks delicious. It looks loaded with so much sweets. And it's a beautiful dessert. Take a look at that. I'm gonna give it a try. Oh my god.
Not the best reaction.
This is amazing. Okay, it's not too sweet, which I love because I don't like overly sweet desserts, but it's just so flavorful. And all of it just ties in so well together. Okay, so here we have the blondie brownie with, I don't know what type of ice cream this is. Honey pecan. I believe it's honey pecan. It looks like honey pecan. There's honey syrup on it. Apparently this is the owner's mother's recipe. I'm super excited to try it. Now I'm going to try it and take a look at that. All of it's in there. I'm going to get a little bit of the whipped cream. It's like nutty. There's cream. There's vanilla. There's caramel. And the blondie is just perfect. It's like gooey and amazing. But yeah, I highly recommend this and the other dessert. Oh, the other dessert was amazing.
First one that they've got here is Season of the Witch. Yeah, it's called the Season of the Witch, and look at this thing. This is basically like a margarita without the tequila and everything. And this rim here is tahine. I know we talk about tahine a lot, but they actually make their own, which is a bold move, if I dare say so. That's just not something that's normally common, and I'm just so excited to try it. I'm just gonna go ahead and try it right now. Oh, wow. That is possibly the best tahini I've ever had. I might actually ask for some to go because that is actually quite amazing. Ooh. Yeah, that's great. That's very refreshing. It's like I can see exactly what they're going for when they say it's like a margarita without the alcohol. Again, no alcohol in here. Just so in case people are wondering, I actually don't drink, so this actually works out perfectly. I like a good mocktail, and this is a good mocktail. All right, so got the Sunrise Superman. Sunrise Superman looks good. So ooh, very light, very refreshing. I wouldn't be surprised that they made their own ginger beer in house. Very, very good. I would recommend trying this. You immediately get that taste of blueberry. It is perfect.
So we're at 491B Highland Avenue in Augusta, Georgia. And our hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from 5 p.m. until 10, and Friday and Saturday 5 till 11.